Herzlich willkommen, Sianamgela, and welcome to the Bundesliga Connection with Kres Harrington on the SL Podcast in partnership with DW Berlin.
It's time for the latest from Germany's domestic football league, the Bundesliga, and more. For that, we are joined by Kres Harrington from our partner station Deutsche Welle in Berlin, Germany. Kres, it was a 7-goal thriller between Bayer Leverkusen and Borussia Dortmund on Sunday, and no Haaland in the Dortmund lineup definitely hurt the home side.
Yeah, especially when you factor in the boos and the whistles the home team, Dortmund, got from their 12th player on the pitch, the fans. Thousands of fans were on hand. You know, they had the return in the second half of the season thanks to some relaxed COVID-19 policy, but it didn't help in terms of Erling Haaland. 7th time this season he hasn't been in the Bundesliga lineup in a match for Dortmund, and that hurt. Even though their record is kind of not that bad. I mean, 4 wins and 2 draws without Haaland, their number 1 striker. You know, but ahead of this kickoff, I did think Leverkusen news would give Dortmund a bit of an advantage because Leverkusen were missing their captain and goalkeeper, Lucas Radecki. For the first time this season, in come Lennart Grail, getting his first Bundesliga start, his 5th appearance. He's conceded 7 goals so far. So I thought it would be a kind of a lopsided result in Dortmund's way. But own goals early in the match helped reset the score 1-1 thanks to Manuel Akanji and Jeremy Frimpong. But I mentioned Florian Wirtz, being a highlight for Leverkusen. He made the difference, gave them a bit of an advantage, made it 2-1. And then 2 goals later, Dortmund are in the hole 4-1 heading into the break. I had to check the stat book and see when the last time Dortmund conceded 3 goals in the first half was. It was back in 2019 versus Paderborn. But in that match, they battled back and leveled. This match, it just wasn't the case. I mean, they couldn't get things started at all. I mentioned Moussa Diaby's lightning speed, another asset for the Leverkusen side. He solidified the victory, basically a nail in the coffin, making the 5-2 lopsided result. No one on Dortmund's side was happy after this match. And as I mentioned, the boos, don't make it any better, especially when they're coming from your own fans. When they're just happy to be back and watch the action, not the action they wanted to see. Leverkusen, on the other hand, though, they are remarkable offensively right now. They've scored a league high 13 times in the opening 15 minutes of a match this season, which is remarkable. Their goal tally is already better than it was last season. So Leverkusen is definitely, a team, to look out for as the season progresses. But another tough loss, for Dortmund. They did have their young captain, America player, Gio Reyna, made his return, but nothing to show for it really. And all in all, Dortmund's going to have to figure out what they're going to do because obviously when they drop points, they make it that much easier for Bayern.
Kres, Bayern got all 3 points against RB Leipzig. However, the Bulls made it interesting.
Yeah, they did. It was a battle of old classmates. Back, in Germany, you have to go through the schooling process to become a coach. Julian Nagelsmann, now at Bayern, was classmates with Domenico Tedesco, and they were considered the top of their class. So a tough match was expected, but Thomas Müller, Robert Lewandowski, they were on target. And Bayern Munich actually benefited from an own goal themselves, and that's interesting because looking at that stat, RB Leipzig, it's only like their 3rd own goal in well over 100 matches. So that's something they don't give away easily. And that was, a decisive goal in this particular match. No one can stop Bayern scoring. Bayern after the game, Leroy Sané talked about how hungry Bayern are right now. They're going for the gold. They're trying to get theirs right now. And in terms of their scoring, they've extended their goal scoring record to 68 matches in a row right now. The last time they were scoreless was against RB Leipzig. It didn't work out that way this time. And Lewandowski picking up a goal. He ended his 1 match without a goal, this season. But all in all, the goalkeeper for RB Leipzig summed it up. They said they made too many mistakes. They made it easy for Bayern, and Bayern being the team they are, having the depth they have, is a side that just punishes mistakes. And that was a classic case. I mean, Leipzig, they've been hot lately, but Bayern is a team that can cool anyone off in the Bundesliga, given, their talent and their depth. And it seems like they're an on and off switch that's typically on for most of the time. But they did get a bit of bad news I'll touch on later that could be a difference maker for those trying to chase Bayern in the standings.
3 of the top 4 teams dropped points this match day, Chris. Will we see some changes in the standings soon if this trend continues?
Well, technically it was 3 of the top 5 teams because, Union Berlin and Freiburg are neck and neck. But Dortmund, as I just mentioned, they fell. Union Berlin and Freiburg also were defeated. More shocking in those results, the Union and Freiburg results, there were no goals scored in Union's defeat to Augsburg. Augsburg is a team they should easily be defeating right now. And Taiwo Awoniyi made his return from the AFCON. He didn't look that good at all, in attack. He was subbed out of that match, had a relatively low rating, when you look at it from that perspective. But all in all, they're going to have to, continue turning it back on. I thought losing Max Kruse would be a big loss for them, and it's kind of proven to be the case, because their last win was thanks to their former captain, Max Kruse, who were successful. Wolfsburg did win, on Sunday night as well. But Freiburg is another team that was in the top of the standings that lost to Cologne, a team that's kind of been rebounding thanks to Anthony Modeste, who scored the only goal in that match. But that's also a kind of competitive matchup. Freiburg and Cologne, the first time they met, it was a draw. Cologne kind of got the better end of that equation this time around. But I do believe we will see some interesting results as the season goes on. You have Augsburg, Stuttgart, Greuther Fürth, all at the bottom of the standings right now. They're fighting for their survival. Anytime you have a scenario where you have to fight, just to live, you might put up a bigger fight, and teams tend to fall asleep, if they're in a comfortable situation right now, if they have no threat, of being demoted to the second Bundesliga. So I do expect, some interesting results as the season goes on, especially when you factor in injury bugs, often biting teams once in a while as well.
Chris, switching it up a bit, Bayern's Choupo-Moting said he felt disrespected by Cameroon's coach during the AFCON.
Now, when you understand the playing time that the Bayern Munich forward, considering he's a Bayern Munich player, the most known player on the roster, you might think he'd get more respect in terms of his playing time. Well, he was upset because he wasn't used in the quarterfinal or the semifinal matches, and ahead of the final match, the third place match, I should say, he told the coach he didn't want to play. He didn't want to be used. He felt disrespected, obviously, given the fact that what he's won and who he's played around, and other things like this, you understand why a 32-year-old forward would be upset and not getting playing time, but the coach did respond. The coach said basically, 48 hours after all of the players were basically running on fumes, they went into extra time. The coach didn't want to take any risks. That's why he reshuffled the team, and he has congratulated his Cameroonian side for picking up the third place finish, in the AFCON. But it's understandable. You're going to have emotions come out when you feel like you should play. You look at Eric Choupo-Moting's age. You could argue this will be his last, tournament to represent his country. So it's understandable. But now he's back to domestic duty with Bayern Munich as they chase to defend their crown. I'm sure he'll be focused on that and focused on filling whatever void Robert Lewandowski leaves when he takes a pause, because that's obviously some value Eric Choupo-Moting has left to offer any team he's part of.
Thank you very much for the Bundesliga update, Mr. Kres Harrington from our partner station Deutsche Welle in Berlin, Germany. Have a fantastic day further.
Danke und auf Wiedersehen.
The Bundesliga Connection is a team effort driven by the following incredible individuals. The show is hosted by Aidan Hewitt and Kres Harrington. It is produced by Kres Harrington. It is edited by Aidan Hewitt and Uli Presch, and graphics are provided by David Scullard.